Hi guys, if you've struggled with an rc4wd stamped steel beadlock, you are not alone. I made this little video so that I can show you guys how I did it, or how I do it the easy way. So basically I'm just going through the steps of the first parts of the assembly, putting the foam inside the tire, then putting the next little silver cylinder thing. Well, I like to massage it to make sure that the foam is seated really well, and then I massage it on the outside to make sure that it's really seated, that rubber seated on the foam, so that it should be nice and smooth looking all the way around. Then, like I said, I put in the silver ring. And then again, I just really massage it to make sure. Now on this, you start with the back piece. I kind of wedge one in, and then as I pull out and around, it will eventually just kind of pop into place. And even after it pops into place, I really like to make sure I go all the way around it to make sure it's nice and evenly seated. This is really important. If it's not, it's going to pop out later. Even if I have to go and redo it again, I'll do it again to make sure that this step is done perfectly. Checking that bead one more time, making sure everything's perfect. Now onto the other side. The other side's a little bit tricky. You got to kind of line it up to make sure that the holes and the spokes match up. Got to kind of rotate it until, and then you can see that when it does, it's kind of like you can see all the way through it. While I'm holding that, I go ahead and put the little hex backer on it. Okay. And I'm not really holding it really tight. I'm just kind of holding it just to keep it assembled. And then I'm going to stick a wheel hex. This one wasn't participating with me and refused to go in, so I had to massage it a little bit. And then through that, I put in a 4mm bolt. Home Depot, Lowe's, garage someplace, your neighbor. Just find one. Then I have this little shim, hex shim, but a 4mm or 5mm spacer will do. And then I just put the 4mm nut on top, and now the wheel beadlock is sandwiched into place using one M4 bolt. Now, the trick to it is making sure that the spacer and the washer is centered. So after I tighten it a few turns, I will check the front face again to make sure it's centered. It probably moved a little bit. So then I'll squeeze down and kind of move the bolt back to the middle. This is really important because this will help make sure that the bead stays even. Then what I'll do is I'll try a screw and see if it will catch. If it doesn't catch, then I will do it again. Also, you want to make sure that you line up the hex piece so that the holes are showing through. That's what I'm doing now. I didn't line it up quite right when I started, so I had to massage it a little bit, spin it, twist it, hate on it a little bit. You know how you gotta make some magic happen sometimes? That's what I'm doing right now, making magic happen. That's why it's not on the camera. Besides the fact that I'm a one-man show and I don't know how to do anything besides just turn the camera on and point it at something. Anywho, after you line everything back up, you should be able to see that it's nice and centered again. Now once it's nice and centered again, I'll go ahead and try my little 1.5. Okay, doesn't work. So I'll go ahead and tighten it up some more. One for the back, one for the front. And again, I'm not cinching it all the way down. I just do a few turns. I just want to go enough so that my little screws can catch. Again, I want to make sure the middle is nice and centered. Doing some off-screen magic again. Once it's centered and the holes and everything are lined up, I'm trying to show you guys the hole. Then you just kind of stick the screw in, and I'm terrible at camera work, literally, because that should be on screen. And then it goes in. Now this is where I kind of struggle, because how do you use two hands to screw something in and hold the tire and hold the camera? So I basically go in a star pattern. I don't know if you can actually see what I'm doing, but that's what I'm doing. So the screws started to catch, and basically I have a little triangle now of screws. Now if you notice, once you start to get going, the middle should loosen right up. As soon as it loosens up, go ahead and remove it so you don't have to work around it anymore. Now once you go ahead and remove that, go ahead and add the other two screws, because remember you just put in the 3 to triangulate the piece. Okay, and then what I do is literally like 2 spins with the tips of my fingers. Notice I'm not even using the handle. I just want to go until I feel a little bit of resistance, and then I'm going to keep going around in a star pattern. Okay, and it's going to take me a few go-arounds to make sure that it's fully cinched down. But you really have to do that. You really have to do just a few spins on each screw so that you really make sure that it goes down evenly. Now, if you try to just cinch it all one side then the other, I promise you the bead will pop out. You really just have to take your time with this. Just do a little quarter turn at a time. Now, hopefully, this video is going to help some of you guys out there not break knuckles, not throw the tire through a window, not punch someone, not curse, not do all the things that I've done in the past trying to get these things to work until I figured out how to do it this way. Once I've done it this way, it's really easy. It really takes less than 5 minutes or so if you're just trying to get through it. Now, I really took my time to really kind of show you guys what I was doing, so it took a little bit longer than that. But for any of you who have struggled with this, I am sure that you are amazed to see that there is an easier way. So once you get everything cinched down nice and tight, okay, then you'll start, then I just give it a nice little quarter turn with, again, just the tips. I don't want to strip nothing. And this is just the hex. Once I do that, I just go ahead and pop the little hex piece off the bottom. Sometimes it has a tendency to get wedged in there, but look at that bead. Perfect all the way around. That's what I like to see. Now that hex piece sometimes gets a little stuck in there. I just take a tool through the other side, pop it free. Tap, tap. Not enough tap. Not enough tap. If you got questions, post them up, guys, and hopefully that helps. Good luck out there.